And welcome back to Real Talk Sports with Rico. Today we are looking at week 17 of the NFL season. Some of the key takeaways from this week. Obviously, we had a lot of teams that are still going ahead and fighting for position as far as playoffs are concerned. But some of these games actually meant that some teams locked up some playoff spots. And so let's start with the Kansas City Chiefs. And so the Kansas City Chiefs, they clinched the AFC top seed in this one, 29-10 over the Steelers. And I think the biggest key takeaway out of this is that you see that Patrick Mahomes got loose for the 3 touchdowns. I think that what is going to be key for the Kansas City Chiefs is, can they run the ball at an elite level in the playoffs? I think one of the things that Patrick Mahomes was able to do was he actually led, I think, quarterbacks as far as first down scrambles last year. So we know that that is going to be critical for the Kansas City Chiefs, but they found ways to win football games. I think that they're going to be awfully tough to beat this upcoming season in the playoffs. And so next up, the Ravens. And so the Ravens take care of the Texans 31-2. Lamar Jackson, obviously, he breaks another record here, NFL QB rushing record. And so still getting it done, 3 touchdowns in this one. And so the Baltimore Ravens are rolling. The Texans, even though it has been a little bit more of a tougher season this year, they're still playing some good football at 9-7. Next up, the Seahawks, who are eliminated from the playoffs. They win 6-3 in an ugly game against the Chicago Bears. Next up, the the Los Angeles Chargers take care of the New England Patriots 40-7. And so I think that the key out of this is that Justin Herbert and these guys jumped all over the Patriots early and took care of business here. You see that Herbert tosses for 3 touchdowns in this. And so a good game for the Chargers. And you can definitely see that Coach Harbaugh has really kind of brought a different type of mentality to this team. This team's going to be pretty tough in the postseason. So next up, you have the Broncos and the Bengals. And so the Bengals are a team you very much don't want to see in the playoffs. They win another. This was a gutsy win. I think that this might have been one of the best games out there. This went into overtime. Joe Burrow, look, he was willing and dealing out there, 412 yards and 3 touchdowns. These Bengals are coming back. The offense is looking very good right now. They win 30-24, and very much the Broncos here, they're still fighting for seeding. There's still a lot that can happen there in the AFC, and the Bengals are still alive. Next up, the Cardinals and the Rams. And so the Rams have come all the way back, I believe, to win this division now. They're 10-6. Winning 13-9 against the Arizona Cardinals. You see that Nakua had 10 receptions for 129 yards after a slow start, being injured in the preseason, and then coming into this season, I think he re-injured his knee or whatnot. But they have picked it up. They've got both their receivers back. Like the Rams are looking pretty good as they are now in the playoffs. And so next up, you have the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets. And so it has been a terrible season for the Jets. I just would not believe that the Jets are 4-12 at this point in time, with the offensive, firepower that they have, and they just have not been able to get it done. The Bills win this one 40-14. And on the flip side of this, the Bills have shocked me. I mean, they've lost pretty much their receiving core, and they've come out and they've looked good this year. They're the 2nd seed in the AFC, and so I think that they are going to be primed to be right there at the end in the playoffs. And so next up, you have the Raiders and the Saints. And so it has been a tough year for both of these teams, but the Raiders take care of business 25-10. More importantly, the tight end that the Raiders have out of Georgia, I think that he's played very well. You see that he set an NFL record as the Raiders roll. So this guy's been incredible for them, and I think that he is somebody that they can certainly build off of. Hopefully they can get him a quarterback out there. Next up, the Colts versus the Giants. And so, excuse me, with the Giants putting up 45 points, they essentially eliminate the Colts out of the playoffs. And so I think the real key out of this is just that the Colts have got to figure out what they want to do with Anthony Richards. He's been injured. He has not been accurate as well. And so they have got to figure out what they want to do. He also got benched this season too. And so another disappointing year for the Colts. And so next up, the Cowboys and Eagles. The Eagles take care of business, winning this one 41-7. And so with that, They also have Saquon Barkley, who definitely went ahead and set some more history here. Tops 2,000 yards rushing, so that is a huge season from Saquon Barkley. You have the Buccaneers taking care of business against the Panthers, and it's not the offense that you worry about with the Buccaneers. It's going to be the defense and what are they going to do as far as just stopping teams. And so next up, the Jaguars and Titans. Look. The Jags take care of business, winning this one 20-13. I think there's speculation that maybe Coach Doug Peterson may not be there next season. And the way that this franchise is, look, they've got to shake it up. And so it's going to be probably some changes coming there. Next up, the Dolphins and the Browns. And so the Dolphins stay alive, winning 20-3 in this one as far as the playoffs are concerned. Vikings 27-25 win against the Packers. Excuse me. And the key there is that with the Vikings, they now are going to be in a NFC divisional showdown against the Lions. So that should be a very good game next week. The Packers also, too, they're in the playoffs, but it's going to be a matter of seeding. And so between them and the Commanders, they can either shift between the 6th and the 7th seed. So it's a lot going on here in this last weekend coming up. And with the Commanders against the Falcons, this was a gutsy performance from the Washington Commanders. They were down 17-7 at one point. But once again, this football team continues to respond. Jaden Daniels has been huge for this team, especially in the clutch. This guy finds a way to get it done. Daniels became just the 5th rookie quarterback since 1950 to lead his team to back-to-back double-digit comeback wins, and the first since Andrew Luck did it in 2012. And so he continues his spectacular season. Shout out to him. He did make the Pro Bowl as well. The Lions and the 49ers. And so the 49ers and Lions game, this was a very good game. Ultimately, the Lions take care of business, again, setting up a pretty big showdown against the Minnesota Vikings here in this next week. And so they win 40-34. And so that is this week in the NFL Week 17. We'll be talking a little bit more about Week 18 and the playoff seedings. This is your host, Rico. You can find me on YouTube and also to Spotify. We'll be talking more sports out there. I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, peace.